Hello everyone, welcome to episode 7 of Tekken 6. In the last episode, we managed to encounter Heihachi Mishima in the Mishima estate. It turns out that the conversation between Lars and Heihachi ran into a problem. They kinda sorted out. But still, they didn't get along so well. Remember what I said about Heihachi donating sperm? That we found out that Heihachi is Lars' father? Wait a second, what did Alisa just say? Heihachi is Lars' father? That's what she said? Oh my god, don't tell me Heihachi... Yup, he did. He donated sperm, and this is what he gets. Lars Alexanderson has entered Tekken 6. Well, Heihachi, you really crossed the line this time. Yeah, about that, I was exaggerating a bit because I really thought that Heihachi went into some other country's sperm bank and donates sperm so he can make some money. Well, that's what I think at first, but not exactly. The story of how Lars was the illegitimate son of Heihachi wasn't very clear of why it happened and how it happened. According to my research, all I get is that Heihachi was in love with some Swedish girl that he met, and well, that's it. Harada posted that story on Twitter at some point of where did Lars came from, but it's not even clear of why it or how it happened. There's no cause, no effect. Heck, we don't even know who this Swedish girl is. There's a huge hole in that story, and it kinda bothers me a bit about that. Seriously though, I don't know what Heihachi was doing, but I hope in future Tekken games we'll get to see who this Swedish girl is or what she looks like. Also, Lars and Alisa ran into benzoate oxalazine bicarbonate, or Bob, in which I'll never get tired of that long name because of it's funny. And they helped Lei Wulong in the ICPO branch office. Lars got ambushed by the G Corp soldiers, and Alisa was fighting a helicopter on autopilot. Everything was taken care of, so without further ado, let's continue our progress. Let's go! Oh, I almost forgot. I've shown you this map screen from the previous episode, right? Well, we're gonna find out if you answer my question correctly. So, which one of these 3 opened levels are we heading next? The Kazama-style traditional martial arts dojo. Supposedly one of Jin's distant relatives opened it.
Correct. Apparently a sibling of Jin Kazama's mother opened a dojo. It may be worth our while to investigate.
Right. We should be able to find something here. If you pick this area where the cursor was heading to at the world map, you were right. This area is the Kazama-style traditional martial arts dojo. Right now, you already know who our next boss will be in this area. And speaking of this area, the enemies you'll encounter here are the male and female thugs. I have no idea why there are no Japanese-related enemies in this level, but oh well. The area is also a copy-paste level of the Mishima Polytechnic, but in a sunset atmosphere. The only different thing about this level is that during the middle portion of the intersection, you'll come across a roadblock sign that blocks a path straight ahead of you. So you'll have no choice but to proceed to the right. The boss will appear at the end of the road. Since this is a copy-paste level of the Mishima Polytechnic, it feels like you've explored every area of this level in Tekken 6. So, if you're curious about which areas are blocked in previous levels, then there's your answer. Enter a level that has the same map as the other one and go there. You know, it would be interesting if these levels didn't have these roadblocks, so if you progress to those hidden pathways, the ones with the roadblocks, then they should unlock hidden levels, like in the game called Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, where that game had plenty of secret exits in certain levels that you had to search for them. That would be a cool concept for Tekken 6, but nope, the game didn't went for it. It might be a last minute thing or something, but it is what it is. Oh, look at that! The karate girl is running really fast! Run, girl, run! Sorry about that. I always wanted to do that. The karate girl that was running is the boss of this level. What's funny is that we'll encounter her at the end of the pathway she ran from. So, technically, she's running around that certain area in a complete circle for no reason. I gotta admit, that was pretty funny. So, that's about all there is about this level. You'll fight the same enemies over and over again, and make sure you take advantage of those wooden boxes that are lying around in the level. You're gonna need them if you're having a hard time with the enemies. Oh, one more thing. It's been a while since I recorded this Let's Play of Tekken 6. I was so busy with some stuff that I haven't got time to finish it. So if there's any stuff that I haven't gone over in Tekken 6, and if you want to discuss it with me, then I can just post an extra video of Tekken 6 and we'll just talk about whatever it is that I haven't gone over yet. Also, I'll try my best to complete this Let's Play before I move on to my next video game, which will come eventually. Don't worry, I'm still working on it. You just have to be patient.
Hey! I saw you before. Are you trying to crash this dojo?
Wait, are you a member of this dojo? I need to ask you some questions.
We'll talk later after I beat you to the ground. Come on!
Alright, this is Asuka Kazama, the sister of Jin Kazama. In Tekken 5, which is her first appearance, Jin and Asuka are considered cousins, but that was an error. Jin and Asuka being brother and sister is officially canon from Tekken 6 to the entire franchise, just to avoid the confusion. Remember Jun Kazama from Tekken 2? Since she didn't appear in future main Tekken titles, Asuka took her place as the new Jun Kazama in the game. Asuka may have a similar moveset than her mother Jun, but she's very aggressive when she beats up her foes, especially in tournaments. So, here's Asuka's description. Asuka's from Japan, and her fighting style is traditional martial arts. Asuka participated in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 in order to fight Feng Wei. He sent her father to the hospital in a heap. She was unable to find Feng Wei at the tournament, and her life gradually returned to normal. Sadly, peaceful days were swept away in the wake of global pandemonium. After learning that she is related to Jin Kazama, the leader of the Mishima Zaibatsu and the man behind the chaos, Asuka decides to enter the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 to bring him to accountability.
Asuka Kazama, a substitute instructor for the dojo, was unable to give us any pertinent data relating to Jin Kazama. I did not understand what she meant by wanting to fry Jin's bottom. Perhaps she meant to say tie. That would be the more logical choice of word, as tying up our target would render him immobile.
Our next destination is the deserted temple. Since Asuka was the boss from the previous level, I wonder who our next boss will be when we enter this level. Asuka's description in the player's guide gave you a clue of who it is. Well, we won't know until we find out. Let's go. You told me these temple ruins were abandoned a long time ago, but Something's not adding up.
The condition of the gate implies people have been through here recently.
Yeah, and I doubt they'll be happy to see us. Stay on your guard. This level has a straight pathway that reaches from point A to point B. Each door you'll enter will have enemies inside. In the second door ahead of you, you'll encounter enemies in a position where they'll line up like bowling pins. And you'll have to knock over the front guy in order to knock over the rest. If you get a strike, you'll get a special flag. However, the equipment that you have, such as a certain percent chance of stunning your opponent, for example, or any other elemental items, will ruin it. If you mess up, you'll have to replay the level all over again to get the special flag. You only have one try. Also, the enemies you'll encounter in this level are the male and female thugs and security guards, a lookalike enemy of Fang Wei, spoilers, the enemies with claws, and the big red guy. The enemies are a little bit difficult to handle, so be extra careful when you KO these enemies. Remember, you have a lock-on system that you can take advantage of, in case you want to target a certain enemy of your choosing. Those thugs in front of me are the ones that are lined up like bowling pins, but since I KO'd the front guy by stunning him, that means I have to start the level over again to get the special flag. But you can always come back later in the level. The special flag isn't going anywhere. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this level. What do you say we'll wait until we reach the boss of this level, and then I'll tell you about his description of entering Tekken 6. Sounds good? Alright. You dare interfere with my training? I was genuinely hoping to avoid conflict, but I don't suppose you share the same interest. Come at me. So, this is Fang Wei from China. Every time I face this guy in Tekken 5, which is his first appearance, and Tekken Tag Tournament 2, he's a difficult adversary to fight against. To me, he's quite challenging. Just look at him. He looks like he's ready for anything that approaches him. Here's his description for entering Tekken 6. Fang's fighting style is the Chinese Kempo. Fang Wei joined the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to recover from the Mishima Zaibatsu, the Shinken Scrolls, secret records of the mystical art of the Divine Fist. He broke into the Mishima Zaibatsu's secret vault and retrieved them. Rather than secret techniques, Fang was surprised to find out the scrolls were devoid of detailed fighting instruction, but rather contained only one teaching. The one who destroys all other fighting styles and makes them his own shall become a warrior of superior to all men. the Dragon God. After the tournament, Fang spends his days traveling the globe and fighting against warriors of various martial arts styles. One day, he heard rumors of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6. Seeking to expand his power, he headed for Japan to join the competition once again.
A detour through the mountains will keep us hidden from G Corporation's surveillance. At a long-abandoned temple, we came across a master of Chinese martial arts training. Our passage through the mountains was sound, but further ahead lies Violet Systems. I can only hope we pass through undetected.
Our next destination is Violent Systems. Nah, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna go there just yet. So instead, we're going to the Seahorse Grand Hotel. Although the level itself looks similar to Lei Wulong's level, the boss's summit is very gorgeous that you want to play Tekken 6 on that particular stage over and over again. Plus, that stage is available in Tekken 6 right now, so you can play that stage anytime you want. Now this place is easy on the eyes.
Pastoral lands have been replaced by the city several years ago as part of a program to revitalize tourism.
All this in just a few years, huh? At the beginning of the stage, there's a fork in the road with paths heading left and right. There's hardly any enemies in the left path, so I don't think you should go that way because there's obviously nothing over there, and you won't be able to unlock anything if you take that pathway. What you need to do is to take the right path, and you'll fight a Roger-like kangaroo along the way. Once you defeat that kangaroo, you need to complete the stage in order to unlock Roger Jr.'s level. He'll only show up if you only take the right path, and you have to reach nearly at the end of this level before you head straight to the boss's summit. In this spot right here, there's a small alien that you can attack very easily. But that's not the only enemy that'll show up from here. There's also these booty dancers with feathers on their backs, trying to circle you. By dancing, they'll attack you if you attack them. These dancers are exclusive enemies in this area and in the boss's summit. Moreover, it's a nice touch that they are celebrating like they're in a festival or something. Look at them. They're still dancing! The enemies you'll encounter here are the male and female thugs, the booty dancers that we fought a few minutes ago, in which you guys figured out who the boss is going to be in this level, and a kangaroo that'll show up right before the boss's summit at the end, if you fulfill the requirements of taking the right path instead of the left at the beginning of the stage. So yeah, the hotel is up ahead, and the level itself is pretty short and easy to play through. If you figure out how to deal with these shenanigans, especially the enemies, then you should have no problem with this level and the future levels. I'll still be helping you along the way if you're stuck or something.
Hey, you know where Eddie is, don't you? Take me to him now!
Eddie? You don't mean Eddie Gordo of the Tekken Force, do you?
The Tekken Force? Why would Eddie get involved with the Mishima Zaibatsu? I have to do something about it.
I have a good idea what you're thinking, but forget about it. Trying to get into that base would be suicide.
That's my risk to take. I have to see Eddie. Now move before I make you move.
Alright, this is Christy Montero, a female capoeira fighter in the Tekken series. Her first appearance is in Tekken 4, and her moveset plays a lot similar to Eddie Gordo. In case you haven't unlocked Eddie as your freebie character at the very beginning of Scenario Campaign mode, Christy is your best bet for now, but only until you fight Eddie in a certain stage. Here's Christy's description. Christy's from Brazil, and her fighting style is capoeira. Christy was unable to win the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. She was struggling to discover a way to save her grandfather when Eddie Gordo, who had been loyally by her side, suddenly vanished without a trace. She searched everywhere for Eddie, but she was unable to find him. Ultimately, Christy was left with no choice but to return to Brazil, alone. Christy continued her search for Eddie when she returned to Brazil. Surprisingly, her grandfather also disappeared from the hospital, allegedly sent to the Mishima Zaibatsu for treatment. Christy figured that Eddie's disappearance was somehow connected with the Mishima Zaibatsu as well, but she couldn't pull it all together. When the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 was announced, Christy headed for Japan to get in contact with the Mishima Zaibatsu and to gather clues about the disappearance of Eddie and her grandfather.
Due to the proximity of the G Corporation and the Mishima Zaibatsu, this area's inhabitants are exceedingly paranoid and suspicious. Suspicion has the ability to bind one into even more paranoia, rendering the individual incapacitated. Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima must be using these people's fears to their advantage. Perhaps by stopping these two, we will be able to break the chains that bind this world as well.
So now that we take down the kangaroo in that level and complete the stage, we've unlocked this level on the right, which is Roger Jr.'s level. One more thing. This level will be the last time that we'll hear that awful music in this entire Scenario Campaign mode, and we'll never listen to it ever again. I never knew there was a facility around here.
Only a selected few Mishima Zaibatsu employees were told of its existence. It seems abandoned now.
The Zaibatsu always have one secret after another. Before we proceed in this level, I have to bring up something. First is the music track chosen in Roger Jr.'s level. It's the same music as the boss fight in Kuma's stage, and it doesn't fit this level at all. There is a certain music track in the same stage as this level right here that sounded a lot better than the one we have in the Snare Campaign mode. The level looks nice, but the music track chosen here made this level look pathetic, boring, and stupid. I honestly don't know what the developers were thinking when they composed this music track, which again is the same music track as the boss music in Kuma's stage. Kuma the bear? Remember him? Second of all, there's something else that you should know. Roger Jr. is the boss of this level, but that's not the case. Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag Tournament 2 are Roger Jr.'s last games. Why? It's simple. According to my research, this is what Harada stated about Roger Jr. not appearing in Tekken 7. Maybe he won't be able to appear in any of the future Tekken games at all. So here's what he has to say. There was a video of a man's dog being headlocked by a kangaroo, and he punched it in the face. It turned into a big problem, says Harada. People were complaining about him punching a kangaroo. It seems that in the last few years, there's a lot more animal activists. Even though they probably won't play our game, they would still hear about it. About a kangaroo in our game being punched, and would complain about it. Well, thanks to whoever it was who began this issue, Roger Jr. had to be cut in the development of Tekken 7. But Kuma and Perna are staying in Tekken 7 because those bears are as strong as humans, and It sounds pretty odd to me that those animals are safe, but Roger Jr. isn't. Another issue is that I hardly see people play Roger or Roger Jr. in the Tekken games. And on top of that, where's Alex the dinosaur? Where is that guy? He was supposed to be a great substitute for Roger Jr. and he's nowhere to be found. Look, I'm really sorry for the Roger Jr. mains who had their classic character removed in Tekken 7. Oh well. The only way you can play with Roger or Roger Jr. is the classic games, including the Tekken Tag Tournament games. I guarantee that a few fans are going to be upset if Roger, Roger Jr. or Alex were deconfirmed in the next Tekken Tag Tournament games. If there is one. Well, enough of that. Let's return to the game. What do you say we speed this level up, since we don't want to hear this terrible music track? Instead, I'll play the music from Tekken 6 that was supposed to be in this level in the first place. Oh, I almost forgot. The enemies you'll encounter here are kangaroos and bears. They're not really much of a threat, so this level should be easy for you to complete. Okay, now we can begin the music that should have been in this level in the first place. Enjoy. Everything here seems normal.
Target acquired.
What? You mean that kangaroo?
What do you blokes want? Would it kill you in a knock?
Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you. That incident about a man punching a kangaroo and Roger Jr. not being in Tekken 7? That happened after Tekken 6, so just letting you know. Anyway, this is Roger Jr., a strange character with a unique moveset. So here's the description. Roger Jr.'s origin is unknown, and his fighting style is Commando Wrestling. Roger Jr. and his mother joined the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to find Roger, and after a long struggle, they found him. But Roger was living the easy life, unconcerned about his family. Roger Jr.'s mother was flabbergasted at the sight of her husband and ultimately decided to divorce him. After the divorce, life became hard for Roger Jr. and his mother. Shortly thereafter, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6 was announced, and Roger Jr. and his mother decided to join the tournament in search of victory and financial security.
While en route to the Mishima Saibatsu testing site, a talking kangaroo and Joey crossed our path. My logic system is beginning to suspect that all animals are capable of verbal communication. The site had not been in operation for a significant length of time, so there is little evidence of anything left. I fear this has been a fool's errand.
Okay, now we can go to Violet Systems. After we complete this stage, I'm gonna end up the episode. These are massive grounds. Security looks pretty tight too.
This is Violet Systems, a world-famous manufacturer of humanoids.
Now that you mention it, I remember seeing some bizarre humanoid robots in the Zaibatsu files. They must have been Violet's work. This level is based on a business conglomerate, and the atmosphere of this level looks amazing. Just wait until you reach the end of the level and it'll surprise you just by looking at both the boss and the entire level itself. The enemies you'll encounter here are the male and female security guards and these exclusive prototype combots. They'll charge at you without hesitation, so this level is where the difficulty is beginning to increase a little bit more. I recommend you play around with the customization options if you're having a hard time with this level, because if you don't take this level seriously, the enemies will swarm you and obliterate you without mercy. So please be extra careful when you fight these guys, especially these combat enemies. When you defeat those combots, their mechanical parts will shatter. There are a few items and weapons in certain boxes around the area, so use them wisely. Bring your best weapon to the boss if you want. It could be an item in this level, or the character of your choosing. However you want to play, just go for it. And that's pretty much it about this level. I know the enemies look generic, and you fight these guys over and over again, but you get the idea. Just wait until you reach the boss's summit, and let's just say, he may have a few tricks up in his sleeve. Welcome to my palace. I trust you have enjoyed the entertainment thus far. I was a little surprised that even your security personnel were robotic. It was my pleasure to surprise you. But now I must insist that uninvited guests vacate the premises. Alright, so this is Lee Chaolan, the adopted son of Heihachi Mishima. Jeez, why does Heihachi have these weird interactions with these people? He has an adopted son who hates him, and now he has an illegitimate son who also hates him. And now most of the Tekken combatants hate him as well because of this tournament. Is Heihachi a madman or something? I bet he is. But enough about that. Let's talk about Lee's appearance in Tekken 6. Lee is from Japan, and his fighting style is martial arts. Lee Chaolan joined the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 to exact revenge against Kazuya Mishima. Lee lost interest in the tournament when he learned that it was actually Jinpachi Mishima who had started it. He returned to his home in the Bahamas. The world fell into disarray at the hands of the Mishima Zaibatsu, led by Jin Kazama, and the G Corporation rose as an opposing power. Lee owned a large portion of stock in the G Corporation, and their sudden exercise of military forces concerned him greatly. He secretly arranged an investigation into the changes that had occurred within the G Corporation, and discovered that Kazuya was at the helm, behind the scenes. Upon learning that Kazuya would participate in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, Lee used his G Corporation stockholders' complimentary ticket to enter the tournament to get closer to Kazuya.
Excellent な戦いだった。さすがの鉄拳衆でも最強と呼ばれる部隊を任されただけのことはある。ところで、これは憶測に過ぎない。君は三島家と何か関係があるのではないか。事情あり。まあいい。噂の反逆者殿が私に言おうと。あなたは独自に三島と G 社の情報を集めていると聞いている。そういうことか。確かに私の友人は多い。三島側にも G 社側にも。どういった情報が必要かはわからんが。いいな。できる限り協力しよう。ありがとう。しかし、あれだけの兵をまとめ反旗を翻したからには相当の覚悟だと思うが、本気で奴らとやり合うつもりだ。無論だ。今奴ジンを止めなければ取り返しのつかないことになる。どうだろう。私と手を組むつもりはない。申し出はありがたいが、あなたを巻き込むわけにはいかない。私は構わんのだがね。彼らとことを構えるなど、むしろ望むところなんだ。すまない。いいさ。気が変わったらいつでも連絡してくれたんだ。私はいつでも君たちを歓迎する。失礼。私が直接連絡してくるなんて珍しい。ない。すぐにそこを離れろ。おい。どうした？友人がトラブルに巻き込まれたようだ。彼女は G 社の研究施設で働いているんだ。あちらの情報を定期的に流してくれているの。彼女だ。俺たちも G 社には用がある。彼女のところへは俺たちが。X。行くぞ、アリサ。はい。彼女に関する資料とか何かと役に立つかもしれん。 彼女も必ずだ。
I am impressed by the number of humanoid robots programmed as guards here. The speech and behavioral patterns of the president, Mr. Lee Chaolan, are also amusing. Seemingly fascinated by the exterior model, he was too, touchy-feely, thus activating my self-preservation mode.
And that concludes episode 7 of Tekken 6. Man, I'm so excited about the next episode because we're gonna go save my favorite female character of all time, and her name is Julia Chang. I'll tell you about her in the next episode along with the other levels that we're gonna visit along the way. So, I'll see you guys later. Here he comes, the one that just jumped off the building, and he scores the landing! What a perfect performance he's done, or should I say, an excellent performance. Excellent!